All right, so we're trying a different camera angle here for the Nixy Venice G5 first impressions video. We'll see how this goes with the upright. I think you'll be able to see a lot more. Hopefully it'll work. So let's get out on the water a little bit. So the G5 series from Nixy is a little bit of an update from the G4s in that the construction is pretty similar, but they have changed the shapes a little bit. So construction-wise, one of the biggest differences is the removal of the carbon fiber fabric rail reinforcements, which they're great for durability. They don't really add a whole lot in terms of rigidity, so it's kind of a wash. It does make the board a little bit lighter too. A couple of the locations of some of the accessory mounting points, and then removal of the over-the-edge paddle holder that was in a really awkward spot up at the front of the board and wasn't really usable because of that. But the biggest shape change though with all of these boards has been the tails. They've widened the tail on almost all the G5 boards, I believe, and that just adds a lot of stability without adding a lot of weight or doing a lot of other weird shape changes. So the Nixy boards have become a little bit more stable. Now the Venice is their cruiser, 10.5 by 34. It's also a little bit of a yoga board. It's got a full-length deck pad, so it does go all the way up, almost right up to the camera on the nose, and then all the way back to the tail. The deck pad is pretty comfortable, but it's a little smooth. I noticed earlier today. If you get just the right amount of water under your foot, it feels a little slippery sometimes, but overall not too bad. Paddling, cruising speed is quite comfortable. It's a nice brisk, I think about 3.2 or so at a casual cruise, 3.2 miles an hour. One thing I have noticed is that if I were to really pick up the speed quite a bit, the board does have more noticeable flex. So we'll see. I'm gonna do that and see if you can see in the video or not, but try not to lose my mic in the process. The whole front of the board is just really noticeably lifting and lowering. Probably is in the tail a little bit too. It is a lighter board, and it has what I call that light board feel, where because there's not as much mass, it responds quicker to changes side to side, which can sometimes make it feel a little bit twitchy. When you're just standing and paddling, it's not really that noticeable. I think where I really noticed it was in stepping back for a pivot turn. I do feel that a little bit more. The wider tail definitely helps make that a little bit smoother and easier. But you do kind of feel a little twitchier on it. But overall, a great lightweight cruiser. Now, one thing is that this board does not come automatically with a kit. It's sold as the board and fins only. So you will have to kind of build your own kit. And Nixy makes some really nice paddles. This is their Pro Carbon, 3K carbon fiber in the 88 square inch size. I really like this paddle. It comes in a variety of colors too. It's nice and light, it's built well. It has a good blade shape. So like I said, it's also used a little bit as a yoga board. So a little upward facing dog. Oh, my legs are tight. From that race last weekend, I'm still feeling everything. So when you're in this position, I do feel that twitching a little bit more than some other boards the same size, but it's also doing some yoga, so it's good for your core. Okay. So overall, the Venice, great cruiser, very comfortable to paddle at normal speeds. Not the best for sprinting, but that's okay. It's not what it's designed for. Great construction, very lightweight, and it looks great. It's available in several different colors and has plenty of features. So lots of accessory mounting points, a small cargo area up front, and a larger one in the back, which is a little bit backwards for most companies. And on the previous versions, I didn't really care for because the tail was so narrow. that it didn't really make sense. But now that that tail is out wider, is brought out wider, it makes more sense, and it's a good design for that. All right, well, that's the Nixy Venice G5.